Yaqui Delgado wants to kick your ass. That's what some girl tells Piddy Sanchez one morning before school. Too bad Piddy doesn't even know who Yaqui Delgado is, let alone what she's done to piss her off. All Piddy knows is that Yaqui hates her, and she better watch her back because Yaqui isn't kidding around. At first, Piddy just focuses on trying to find out more about the father she's never met and how to balance honors courses with her weekend job at the neighborhood hair salon. But as the harassment escalates, avoiding Yaqui and her gang starts to take over Piddy's life. Is there any way for Piddy to survive without closing herself off and running away from her problems? For First Chapter Friday, here is a preview of Yaqui Delgado Wants to Kick Your Ass by Medina. Yaqui Delgado wants to kick your ass. A kid named Vanessa tells me this in the morning before school. She springs out with no warning and blocks my way, her textbook held at her chest like a shield. She's tall, like me, and caramel. I've seen her in the lunchroom, I think, or maybe just in the halls. It's hard to remember. Then, just like that, Vanessa disappears into the swell of bodies all around. Wait, I want to tell her as she's swallowed up. Who is Yaqui Delgado? But instead, I stand there blinking as kids jostle for the doors. The bell has rung, and I'm not sure if it's only the warning or if I'm late for first period. Not that it matters. I've been at this school for 5 weeks, and Mr. Fink hasn't remembered to take attendance once. A girl near his desk just sort of scans the room and marks who's out. Move, idiot, somebody grunts, and I follow the crowd inside. It's Darlene Jackson who explains the trouble I'm really in. She's a student aide in the guidance office, and she knows all about Yaqui Delgado. She was suspended last year for fighting. We're in the lunchroom, so Darlene has to shout for me to hear. Twice. I've only known Darlene a few weeks, but already I can tell she loves drama, especially if she has a front row seat and it's someone else's catastrophe. Her mother is one of those nosy PTA types too, so Darlene always seems to know whose parents are getting divorced, who failed last semester, or what teacher will be fired at the end of the year. Don't ask me how, but that little spy even knew that our science teacher's husband had dumped her. Before Ms. O'Donnell got past her swollen eyes to teach us about Newton's laws last week, the whole class knew her love life was in shambles. Darlene pushes up her glasses and tells me the whole rumor. Yaqui Delgado hates you. She says you're stuck up for somebody who just showed up out of nowhere. And she wants to know who the hell you think you are shaking your ass the way you do. Darlene lowers her voice. She even called you a skank. Sorry. I'm stunned. I shake my ass? Darlene studies her egg salad sandwich for a second. Definitely, yes. Interesting. I've only had an ass for about 6 months, and now it seems it has a mind of its own. If only my friend Mitzi were here to see this. Last year in 9th grade at my old school, I was a late bloomer. Planchadita, ironed out and hipless. Nothing at all like Mitzi, who got her curves in 5th grade. It was Ma who first noticed my body changing, but she wasn't exactly tactful about my getting cuerpo. Put on a bra already, Piddy, she said after she noticed a man on the bus gawking at my chest one day. You can't go around with 2 loose onions in your shirt for all the boys to stare at, she snapped, like it was my fault that man had helped himself to the show. Lila, that's Ma's best friend in the whole world. is the one who took me shopping for lacy bras the next day. Be proud, mi vida, Lila whispered to me in the bra section of the store as I stared, shocked, at all the lace and bows. And keep your shoulders back. This ass shaking is probably Lila's fault now that I think about it. It's all the dancing we do. She's been teaching me to merengue the way they do in her favorite clubs. Right before school started, she introduced me to her collection of old Hector Lavoe records. We've listened to them so much that I've got the tunes stuck in my head. Move your feet small, like you're on a brick, she said when we danced across her apartment. But the hips? Shake them big, mammy. She gave her bottom a good 1-2 to show me. I see. Maybe now I'm stuck on swivel. Who knows? When Lila walks down the street, men's eyes get glued to her junk. Even bus drivers slow down to see. Ma says she's a human traffic hazard. Darlene finishes nibbling down to her crusts and tosses them inside her paper lunch bag. Maybe you could practice walking normal, she suggests with a shrug. You know, a little less wiggly. Like me. I try not to choke. Darlene does not walk normal. She leans forward as if she's being led by her nose with an invisible rope. I'd say she scurries. I think I walk just fine, I tell her. Suit yourself then, she says. All I know is that Yaqui Delgado is going to crush you. She demonstrates by balling up her lunch bag and casting a knowing glance at the table across the lunchroom. That's where the Latin kids sit. The first day I got here, I stood with my tray, just sizing up the neighborhood. The Asian kids were clustered near the middle. The black kids had a bunch of tables to themselves. I spotted the Latin zone right away, but I didn't know a single one of them from any of my classes. As I got closer, a few of the guys grinned and elbowed each other, but none of the girls looked like they were going to make room. In fact, it was downright chilly how they stared at me. Luckily, Darlene waved me over. So here I am at the corner table near the trash cans, the worst real estate in the cafeteria. Since we moved, I've had to start over. Our table is all the kids from our fourth period science class, like Sally Wynn and Rob Allen. They're both in the 10th grade physics class with Darlene and me, which I'm finding out is a breeding ground for outcasts here at Daniel Jones High School. And this has been a preview of Yaqui Delgado Wants to Kick Your Ass.